So this is Mark B of Mark B's Perspective, and I'm here to let DoorDash drivers know that DoorDash is broken for drivers. Before I get into that and sharing the information with you about that, I want to remind those who've been keeping up with me that my computer has been damaged. I lost a lot of information, right? I've been down. I felt like I lost everything, but I'm not out and I'm going to continue on. So I'm working with this Chromebook and it really don't have no editing software. So this video, I might just have to make it and put it out. I want to thank y'all for continuing to support me and understanding. But as I was saying, DoorDash is broken for drivers. This is not to say that DoorDash is broken for DoorDash as a business and the money that they make. Not saying that DoorDash is broken for customers and how they order, their food. But DoorDash is most definitely broken for drivers. I've been driving not that long, but I do have over 10,000 successful deliveries on just the DoorDash platform alone, not even consider the other platforms. But DoorDash is broken for drivers. Now I'm going to clear this up though, because when you hear me say that DoorDash is broken, DoorDash is not dead because DoorDash is still an app where you can earn some money on it. But that's why I'm here to give y'all information, because information and knowledge is power. And what I want to do today is kind of let y'all know about when we say good orders, fair orders. This is a banger. Some of the bangers that we call on DoorDash may not be bangers, but what I want to do today, I do want to, share what I see as fair orders, and I'm gonna do it per mile, by the miles compared to the dollar amount, because DoorDash will send you an upside down order. And for those who don't know what an upside down order is, it's just when you get an order and you look at it, you see the order come through, you look at it, and it's like $3 going 10 miles. That's an upside down order. I've seen or heard of people who said they were going to take every order that DoorDash sends them. I have not been able to do that yet because I even thought about it in my mind. I come out and I say, yeah, I'm going to accept every order. But I had to change that quick, fast, in a hurry. I will accept every fair order that they send, and even some of the borderlines, because the majority of the orders on DoorDash are borderline. They're not even really good, but you want to consistently make money, right? So, as I said, DoorDash is broken, but it's not dead. So, those who want to join DoorDash, man, there's a good opportunity. You just got to know your worth and don't just be, because we're using our own vehicles, wear and tear on our car. You got to be some type of value to that, and don't just accept everything that DoorDash sends to you, right? Try not to accept everything that DoorDash send to you. The stuff that I'm going to share today is applicable. You can apply this to other apps. I'm going to give an example of how I speak about DoorDash being broken. Now, this is a totally different app, but I just want to share this. I'm not going to say which app it is, but I remember it came to my market, and for the majority of the orders that they was getting, it was $20, $18, going like 10, 11, 12 miles or whatever. These were good orders, right? And everybody jumped on it. They were bragging about it, probably talking a little bit too much about it. That same app, you're lucky if you get a $10 order off of that app, because remember now, these apps are run by bots, like robots. They're run by bots. They're programmed, right? And they kind of know our behavior, everything. So just understand that. And that's why the pay has went down extremely on not only that app, but on DoorDash and other apps as well. So this is what I'm gonna share when I say DoorDash is broken, especially when they continue to send um, some orders that I would consider unrealistic. I should never, as a driver, see an order $3 for 17 miles. Who in their right mind is going to accept that? And then another thing, especially if it's from a store they got several stores, and you got to go to that store. Let's say, for example, a McDonald's, a Subway. You got to pass 5 Subways to deliver that distance. That doesn't really make sense to me. Um, Also, I believe there are some things by how we respond that we can fix what's broken. We ain't gonna magically make it turn around, but we can slow down what's going on, because as it stands right now, DoorDash is on a downhill slope. As I said, DoorDash is broken, right? DoorDash is broken, but it is not dead, because you can still make money. So let me just talk about the miles, right? This is what should be, what I consider a fair order. That's anything 5 miles and under. This is also just a pick up and deliver. This is not including shop and deliver, right? Because when you shop and deliver. So it should be some more value on that. But what I'm talking about right now is just a pickup order from any store, right? McDonald's or whatever. 5 miles and under should be $1 to $1.50 per mile. So, and the minimum for that order, if it's $5, right? It should be anywhere from $5, anywhere from $5 to $7.50. If it's a 3 miles, $7.50 is good, but it should be a minimum on that order. I don't care if it's 1 mile, it should be a minimum of $5. Anything 6 miles to 9 miles should be $1.50 to $2 per mile. And if you do the math, if it's 6 miles, $1.50. So for every 6 mile order you get, you should at least get $9 minimum, right? So it should be $1.50 to $2. And I'm throwing these numbers out, not saying that DoorDash is going to give you this amount, but at least you'll have in your head when you see these orders, you won't say it's a banger, this is a good order, when it's not even a fair order. So I'm just want to put out a standard so we at least have a baseline to go with when looking at these DoorDash orders. 10 miles and above, anytime you got to go 10 miles out of your area, your zone, to me, it should be a $2 minimum. Because remember this, if you got to drive 10 miles out of your zone, you got to come back 10 miles into your zone. So a $10 order, a 10-mile order should be $20. And I know people are saying this is unrealistic. This should be the standard. And this is probably, if we want to get into the why DoorDash is broken, because we have continued, us as drivers, not saying me specifically, but we have settled. We continue to settle. We continue to settle. That's why I don't come out and say I'm going to accept every order that DoorDash sends, because they're going, as long as they can give it to you, they're going to give it to you. They're not concerned, and this is my own thoughts and opinions, they're not concerned with us making money. The only thing that they are concerned with, meaning the only thing that DoorDash is concerned with, is getting these orders out to customers. They don't care if they give you $2 for a 10 miles, right? If you will do it, they will continue to send that to you. So remember that. As long as you will do that, they will give you that order. And I remember like several times I've spoken to or I came and did a delivery. Several times customers have informed me that DoorDash suggests the tip. And you know they suggest the low end because several times customers say, they didn't allow me to put enough on. Am I able to put more on? And I say, yeah, you're able to go back on and add to the tip. See, this is the thing, a part of, DoorDash being broken. They don't suggest when it comes to these fees. They get all this money for the fees and they got multiple fees. They charge a lot of fees that you or I do not see as drivers, right? But when it comes to these tips, they suggest the lowest tip. That's part of the reason why we're seeing so many low orders, right? Since you have this information and you know you're valuable, you should be valued. You should value your vehicle. You should value yourself and the time that it's taken for you to do these orders. You still choose what you're going to accept or decline, because as they say, we are contract. We're not employees. We're contract drivers. So we still have a right to accept. And you have a right. I'm not here to tell y'all what to accept, but I want to kind of let you know what's a fair order. Anything above that is a blessing. We count that as a blessing, right? Continue to do what you do. But remember, it got broken. And if we, as DoorDash, continue to go down, listen, man, we need to stand on some ground. Don't accept any order. If they didn't bless you with 5 or 6 good ones, and then you get a non-tip, okay, cool. Go ahead and do that, right? If you choose to do it, if it's a low mile, right? But if they've been not blessing you and then want to keep sending you these non-tip or very low-paying orders, that's a decision that you will have to make as a driver, right? Who's to say, will it get worse? They've been saying the base pay has been decreasing, and we don't want to, as drivers, continue to let them lowball us, man. So I encourage y'all, man. First, like I said, knowledge is power. Know what are good orders. Stand on that. I'm not saying sit there and decline, but let them know that you do know your value. So you have to exercise your right to do that, use that decline button. I think every driver has a right to decline. If it don't make sense to you and your vehicle, right, decline it. But don't go out to look to decline. So that's why I accept as many good ones or accept as many fair ones as possible. So every now and then you will have the opportunity without hurting your ratings to decline or order, right? That's the information that I gave y'all. I hope that you use it to your benefit. Understand that DoorDash is broken, right? As I just gave with the orders, and we know the orders that they send, but at least have a foundation. These are the orders to understand these are fair orders, right? These are fair orders, and you are worth those orders. You're worth it. They want us to think that we're not worth it. Understand that we as drivers are worth that amount of pay. We go on and do the stores, we got to deal with customers. We got to deal with the merchants, right? And we're using our vehicle. You can get flat tires, you can get a nail, anything can go wrong, man. So value yourself, value your vehicle, and hopefully DoorDash won't get any worse than what it is right now. I wish you all the best. Be safe for the ladies. Be out there DoorDash, and I see a lot of people. Be safe for the men too. Be safe out there. I do want to say this, man, because I noticed the last week or two, I've met a lot of new drivers because of the shutdown. I even seen some military people. And I do want to make sure that we keep the military and those who are not getting paid during the shutdown, those who have been getting SNAP benefits that may not be getting them. We want to keep them in our prayers. The aviators, pilots and stuff, keep them in our prayers as they are working without pay. Some of them have been doing, driving DoorDash just to make ends meet for the time being. So it's a lot of drivers, man. The market is saturated. I know it's a struggle out there, but still know your value, man, and do what's best for you. You know your market, but do what's best for you while driving DoorDash, right? We putting our lives on the line. I done been to dark places. They might not know you coming. One person ordered in the house. The other person may not know, So when I go somewhere, I try to hurry up, drop off, and keep it moving. But I ain't gonna hold you. I don't want to be that long-winded. But know your value and understand that DoorDash is broken for us drivers, man. But DoorDash is not dead because we can still make money. So make the best out of this app. Be safe out there. Man, if you found value in this video, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can be notified anytime I make a video. Until next time, man, y'all be safe out there. I want to give a shout out and thank you to the customers, DoorDash customers who don't mind tipping and making things a lot better for us. Y'all be safe. Y'all have a good day. Until next time. Peace.